So since this week,
Oh,
it
you haven't even said it yet, but I can tell.
yeah, this week is the 24th year of us.
Oh,
So
of you and me.
yeah,
Oh.
of Lou and me.
Oh,
Well, not of the podcast, but of us
Of you and
specifically.
me.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about marriage and
Oh.
partnership and living a life together, because I just thought like it made sense because it's our week, and
It does make sense. And
You know.
because our last episode kind of blew up.
oh well,
It
yeah,
kind of
but
exploded
I
for a
wanted to
minute.
do this episode anyways, but
Well, yeah.
after that other episode, which we'll re-record that at some point.
After we stop being mad about it.
I'm going to get better at this whole audio engineer thing.
You're doing like 4 jobs in one.
Okay.
Give yourself a break. You're doing great.
All right. So I thought we could talk about our relationship. And, I know that sometimes, especially with social media and the way that people curate their lives, a lot of times people can come across as being, the perfect couple or one of those annoying couples or whatever. And I know that sometimes we do as well.
And understandably, it's a human thing where you want to go, you know what, let's just concentrate on the happy, good
On
stuff.
the positive stuff. Yeah.
Or I'm feeling really good and I have nice hair right now. Let's take a picture of us together.
Yeah.
Which, oh, this is a really good picture. Let's put it up on Instagram. You don't have the pictures of where you haven't washed your hair in 4 days, 5 days, a week, 2
Yeah.
weeks. And now I want to take a picture and put it on social. No.
Right.
So it's understandable. The problem is that you don't say also I have shitty hair while
Yeah.
I'm texting this, but this was yesterday's hair. So
I like to say we crop the sadness out of our pictures for social media, right?
Right. You have to understand that social media is not the truth.
Right.
And naively, people think it is the truth,
Yeah.
which it's not. No, you got to not believe that stuff.
Right. But now that we're doing the podcast, I want
I can have crappy hair
and
and still record.
but you don't right now.
Except for right now, I've
Yeah.
got pretty nice hair.
It's pretty amazing.
It's fluffy.
I want our listeners to know that there's more than just us giggling and talking and having a great time, that there's more to our relationship and the things that we've been through and how we've ridden those waves and those ups and downs
Mhm.
to still be together, kicking
Yeah.
and doing quite well, where for the most part we do giggle.
Yeah, and I was going to say that, like, that's been an enormous building block for us.
Right.
Is that, you can say something or I can say something and it upsets the other one. But then, I don't know, half an hour later, you can say another thing that makes me giggle and then it's all forgotten.
Right.
Or seemingly. And that's how we always break the tension when we have our little like spats or whatever, is you or I will say something or a situation will happen, especially like with our kids, and we'll just both be laughing, and that breaks it all, because that's a foundation, enormous brick, is that humor,
Yeah.
is try to find something funny in all of this craziness.
I think a huge part of our relationship is built on the fact that we were friends first before we were romantic or sexual or intimate.
Chicka wow wow.
But
Or however you say it. I don't know.
However it goes.
I think that's the first time I've ever done that. I'm taking risks here,
yeah.
babe.
So I think that we're able to, transverse the hills and the stumbles without falling down,
Yeah.
with doing like ninja rolls out of them instead, because, there's something more we're protecting there than just being lustful for one another, right? Like
Right.
a lot of time, like I've had past relationships where we're built completely in lust, right? Like
Yeah.
completely in desire and not founded in friendship and not founded in the want and desire for that other person's happiness to be, if not equivalent to your own, a priority for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so those relationships never work out. I've never had a relationship work out that was like, oh, that person's really pretty, and how that starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've told this story before about the first time I saw you was just your hair from behind, and you went into a business, and then I knew I had to meet you. I knew I had to meet you from that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why. It wasn't an attraction like, oh, that girl's hot. It was like, who is that?
Mm.
I would like to put that person into my life,
Aw.
if not my pocket.
I've said that a million times that I wish I could just shrink down and you could put me in your pocket, take me with you to work or wherever you were going, because
I think that's one thing that's always been kind of a bummer in our relationship is you very much like traveling and experiencing new things, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I would much rather stay home in my shell,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to go like put your foot up on a rock and yell out into a canyon of like, I found you, right? Where I'm like, I'll stay home.
You're like, I've seen rocks.
But the way that our relationship has worked out and the way that my job has worked out is I'm the one who ends up traveling all of the time, 100% against my will. And you're the one who has to stay home. Right. And it causes some strife and some tension between us. But I don't have any fun on those trips. Like,
and that's something that I did not realize.
Yeah.
So within the last like decade or whatever, you've taken many trips. And
right.
it was about the second one, and you called home to say goodnight to the kids and stuff. And I was being rude.
Mm.
Right. And because I tried to get a hold of you a couple other times, not for emergency, but just,
right.
To check in because I miss you.
Yeah.
Right. And you weren't available, or there was talking in the background and you were distracted. And I was just like, you know what? Fine, whatever. But then the kids had gone to bed and we were FaceTiming, and you said, babe, I'm not having fun. I just want to come home. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't fun for me. You guys are my adventure. You guys are where I feel comfortable with. And so the very next work trip, I was like, okay, this is not about anything outside of just me and him. I need to be respectful, because if he's not comfortable,
yeah.
Yes, I should be the one traveling and having fun. But
yeah.
if he's not having fun, I am the only thing that's connected to his comfort place.
Right.
So I need to be that for him no matter what. So then it was like, okay, it doesn't matter when I'm available or when he's not available. I need to be available for him because I'm home base.
And a lot of those times, a lot of those trips, I was going into a different time zone.
Yeah.
And so then that would make things harder too, because it would be time for you to go put the kids to bed, and I would be in the middle of a conference.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can't leave.
Or a conference dinner or something. That's usually the worst one.
Conference dinners are the worst.
Yeah.
Look, I know that everyone else in the world goes, conference. I love going to conferences and seeing all my friends from the industry. This is so rad. For me, it's a total ball of anxiety the whole time.
Mm.
I don't want to be there. It means that I have to, like my whole schedule, my whole routine is thrown out the window. I end up eating way too much nuts.
Like that's all you pack.
Yeah. And, and then I have like gastrointestinal issues for the rest of the week.
I know.
And then I have to fly, which I hate doing too. Like I'm not afraid of flying. I just don't want to do it because I don't fit.
Yeah.
I don't fit. Planes and buses and trains. Those things are not built for people me.
Yeah.
People my size, right?
Yeah.
So that's all more anxiety. And then you have to like try to combat, even before COVID, you have to try to combat the con crud, like don't get sick.
Uh-huh.
Right. And then you have to be on the whole time. And I'm not like, I like to entertain people, but only when I want to do it.
Yeah.
Not just because, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want it to be kind of on your terms when you're comfortable about it.
Yeah.
It was just something about your face and the way you said that just really clicked. And I was like, oh, okay. I need to be that source of comfort.
Yeah.
I'm not always the strongest person, but when it's for my kids or for my family, I can buck up and show up.
Yeah.
And I think I've done that. I hope that it shows that I've done that.
No, it was hard at first. It was really hard at first because I knew that it was pissing you off.
Yeah.
That I got to go and do these things.
And I wasn't mad at you. It's just I was jealous. I was envious, of it. But, and not for work, the part of it, but it was like, just be able to just do something outside of the norm.
Yeah.
I think stay-at-home moms get that all the time, where it's just the same thing over and over and over. And some people relish in it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do that.
I know. We probably should have made the opposite deal where you go out and you do the work, and then I'd be the stay-at-home dad.
I'm not good at the job part.
Well, you could have been. You could have done
Anyways.
anything that I did, right? All I did was decide I was going to do something else with my life and then stayed up until 3 a.m. every night for years, right?
Yeah.
You could have done that.
Yeah, I guess.
You could have done that. But we chose to do it the opposite way, which was weird.
The traditional way.
You know, but and then also part of that being away is that there's a lot of societal pressure to, you know, we're vegan. Have we said that before?
Yeah, I mean, in a roundabout way.
Right. So that makes food hard.
Right.
And then I don't drink, right? Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
Never, hardly ever.
right. Once in a while, I'll have like a White Russian.
Once every 5 years, maybe you'll have one Christmas Eve.
Yeah, maybe.
And usually you take 3 sips and you go, ooh, that's good. And then you give the rest to me. What you do cannot be considered drinking
Okay. That's true.
ever.
But I don't like to drink on trips, and I don't like to drink socially at all. So that also becomes hard because that's the big go-to.
Mhm.
So the whole thing is not an adventure for me. It's a responsibility
Yeah.
that I have to fulfill, and I
Yeah.
don't want to fulfill.
Yeah.
So it's never fun for me, and being away from you guys is a total nightmare.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and that's what really clicked. So I tried my very best on the next trip.
Yeah.
I tried to just always just be that kind of support, not fake wise, but just try to be that support.
Right.
And that lifeline to you is like, okay, here, kids, come on, dad's calling. Just try to be better at supporting you rather than think about what I was missing,
Yeah.
which,
And you
you know.
have 100% credit to you. You pass with flying colors. Since that trip where I told you that,
Mhm.
you've been a lot more like open and understanding and like
Because I
even
was-
cheerleading for me because you know that I'm not having
Yeah.
a good time being gone.
And how I deal with my anxiety and stuff or the unknowns is I plan. So I'll pack your bags and
Yeah.
okay, he needs this and this and this, and I'll pack those things for you. Oh, he likes that. He'll miss this. So I'll just pack something that will help with that. And, you know, it's like when we went and voted this morning, I knew like, oh gosh, I knew that there was going to be so many variables.
Yeah.
And for me, those are the scary parts that
The unknowns
the unknowns,
Yeah.
the things that change all the time.
that
and,
you can't control.
Yeah, and that I can't control exactly. So is it going to rain? Is it going to be too sunny? Well, I should bring my umbrella, right? So it's those things. And I can't sleep or rest until I know that I have a plan for everything,
Yeah.
every outcome. Okay, I need IDs for everybody. I need registration cards for everybody. And then I could go, I have prepared as much on my side as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So when I'm packing for you, the nuts go in the bag, the wipes go in the bag, the different outfits, depending on what you feel, a little trinket or a little thing from each of the kids so that you open that and you go, oh, the kids.
That's my favorite part. To tell you the truth, when I get wherever I'm going and I open my bag, I immediately look for that
Oh.
and unpack it and put it out.
And I write you a little letter,
Yeah.
and then the kids put a little toy or a little stuffed animal
Yeah.
in there.
I really, really appreciate that you do all that for me because if I was left to my own devices, I would just put like 2 pairs of underwear in a backpack and
You're like, it's
And
like
go.
the dad in the Santa Claus 2. He's like, just put my underwear in a bag.
yeah,
What else do I need?
yeah.
Great.
I'm not super good at taking care of myself.
And so that should be not just as, oh, your wife. I
Right.
try not to, and it's really silly, but I don't ever see myself as a wife.
All right.
And that might be kind of scary, but I don't.
I don't think it's scary.
I see myself first and foremost as your friend,
right.
as your best friend, as a backup, as a support,
Yeah.
and then as a partner / mom of your kids, right? So
Right.
I don't really see myself as a wife first.
Right.
And I don't know why. I think I'm scared of the whole like, do this because you're my wife or do this because you're my husband. I don't think that that's the way you commit yourself to a person.
Right. It's your commitment to each other shouldn't have anything to do with your legal title,
Yeah.
right? It should have
Yeah.
to do with because you are committed to that person, not because you guys signed a paper together and took vows.
Yeah.
Because those vows, they mean something,
Yeah.
but they're not why you get married, right?
Right.
It's not why you stay together.
Yeah.
Right.
And, going old school, kicking it old school for a minute.
Alrighty.
We had our first baby out of wedlock.
What?
Before we got married.
We're such
and it was very looked down upon on my side of the bloodline.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel pressured to get married on anyone else's timeline except for my own.
Right.
And I was asked to get married a few months earlier before we had Liam.
Right.
And I said, no, I don't think so.
Well, we were already planning to get married anyways.
We were already engaged. We were already living together, and we were already pregnant.
Right.
So, like, how much more commitment can I do?
Right.
It was just a formality so that I could have your last name.
Well, in fairness,
that's really what I was thinking. I really didn't put a whole lot of like thought and time and effort.
You're just trying to get that last name.
No, because I wanted to be a part of you and our family, and I wanted to have yours and Liam's last name.
I get you. Yeah.
And I fought for those things because I was told things that I didn't really believe, but I thought, well, these are the people that raised me. They should know better, right?
Well,
they were more adults than I was at the time. I was a young mom, and so I didn't know things, and I was told things, and I was like, that doesn't sound right to me. I'm going to give the baby your last name, and then that's going to be it. Yeah. And then 2 months later, I'm going to take his last name too. Yeah. And then that's it. I don't want to hear any more of it. I've already made my decisions. Right. Should we spill the tea a little?
Sure.
We got married at the courthouse 2 days before we had our ceremony in the park.
Yep.
Because it was a little on the cheaper side.
Tell him what you wore.
Okay. I messed up, and I did not bring it.
It wasn't a mess up. It was adorable.
I came right from work, and I forgot my dress. I forgot any dress
Just
whatsoever.
Didn't have any of them.
I had none.
0 dresses.
So ridiculously, I had on overalls.
Right.
Jean overalls.
So adorable. It's like one of the cutest outfits you owned. And I was like, oh, okay, this is how we're doing it.
And to make matters worse, you met me over there, and you were wearing a shirt and tie.
Right.
And then Liam spit up on his outfit, so I had to put him in pajamas. So we showed up to the courthouse looking like Lord knows what.
Well, also, we should be clear, like, I don't know, people probably don't know this, but I'm not a shirt and tie guy.
I'm not usually an overalls lady either.
Overalls?
Anyway,
overall, I'm not an overalls lady.
We took 0 pictures. Well, all we have from that day is our marriage license. That's it.
And our memories.
And our memories.
Which are great. I treasure those memories. We did a Jim and Pam before Jim and Pam.
Well, no, because we didn't really do a really cute, sweet Niagara Falls thing.
We did a cute, sweet runaway
Cottonwood
and
Camp
get married
Verde.
in front of people that we trusted and were close to and loved.
Yeah, I guess
that's what we did.
Nobody knows about that either. There's like a handful of people that know about that secret mission.
Now everybody knows.
No, let's be real. 2 people know now. It's a handful of people plus 2.
It's a handful of people plus 2. That's good.
So that was really all there was to that. I was being.
That's all I got to say about that.
I was being pressured
right.
to do certain things. And I'd be like, no, I gave birth to this baby.
Right.
I get to name him whatever I want to name him.
Yeah.
And now I get to be married on whatever day I choose.
Yeah. And you chose.
And that could be after a baby.
Right.
Doesn't, or ever. But really, I wanted to be part of you and part of your last name and our baby's last name. And then that was it.
I feel
that's the only reason I don't put a whole lot of pressure on that piece of paper to tell me what I am to you guys.
Well, all that paper does at this point is give us a tax break. Right? Like that paper doesn't bond us the way that we bond us, right?
Yeah.
I don't feel obligated to stay with you because we signed some paper 24 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I feel obligated to stay with you. Well, I wouldn't even say obligated.
Yeah.
I want to be with you. I want to stay with you. I like being around you. I like you. Yesterday
was our actual.
Right. Yesterday was our anniversary. And I said to you, I like you. Because I think that's more important at this point,
Yeah.
right? At this point,
Mm-hmm.
4 kids in, 24 years in, sex isn't the thing, right? Like
Right.
sexual attraction and goosing each other and wrestling, that's not the thing anymore. The thing is like this,
Yeah.
the podcast.
Are you
spending
there
time
when I
together.
need you?
Yeah,
Am I there when you need me?
right,
You know?
right.
Yeah.
And then sometimes rubbing our butts together.
Sorry, kids.
Sorry.
Uh,
That's our new thing though. I still think it's cute.
Stop it.
I think that you and I together has been probably the greatest thing that I ever chose to be a part of.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was terrifying.
Oh, it's been terrifying up until yesterday.
Yeah. I think it's still a scary thing to
Right.
to still depend on, and especially because of where we come from and who we come from,
Yeah.
to depend on someone else
Right.
other than ourselves for anything, not for happiness or anything, but like, you know,
Well, my parents were together for 22 years.
mhm.
And so for me, making
before
it,
they divorced.
making it to
Yeah.
24 years felt like, okay, well, we got past that.
Yeah.
Because, that happens to you. And then,
You have that as
it
a
wasn't
deadline.
my relationship, right? But
Right.
I was part of it because I was their
Mhm.
child. And then I was, for a long time in between.
Yeah.
But so that's a thing that happened to me, right?
Mhm.
So it kind of left a scar.
Right.
And so then I'm like, can I make it past that? Can
So
we make it?
there was almost like a deadline to
It was,
make
it
or
was
to,
almost like,
to be scared of.
look, I'm the kind of person though that puts death forefront of my mind, right? So like before I turned 33, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm for sure going to die at 33 because Chris Farley died at 33
Oh.
and John Candy died at 33 and John Belushi died at 33. And I'm like, I'm definitely part of that group. And
Oh.
right. Like, so there's that, those things in my life where that just something made an impression on me
Yeah.
and then it just doesn't go away. It's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Right. Like, what's that movie with Jim Carrey where he keeps seeing the same number?
13.
Is it called 13?
Mhm.
Well, he keeps seeing the number over and it kind of goes crazy. I see every time I look at the clock, it's 9/11. And I'm like, okay, that's happening to me. That movie's happening to me, right? Like, what's going to happen at 9/11? It's that kind of like
Mhm.
not self-obsession, but like obsession with,
It's an intrusive thought.
it's an intrusive thought. Yeah. So those kinds of things happen all the time to me. And I, once we hit 23
Years.
years, I was like, okay, we're probably going to make it.
I think it's like every anniversary, you and I look at each other, we go, we made it this far.
Yeah.
We made it.
Yeah.
We're making it.
It's
happening.
It isn't a thing of like, I wake up every morning and go, oh, thank God that I'll get to wake up next to this one. It's more like, oh God, we're still both alive. Okay. Let's see what the day brings. Right? Like it's, that you're going to have days where it's just like one or both of us are pissed off.
Or, the other person is breathing weird and you're just like, how
Right.
could you
Yeah.
just sit over? Like, what is happening?
Why do you chew that way?
Yeah.
Did you trap your farts in the bathroom again?
Well, you do. I can't help it. You do.
I don't, but see, that's the thing is that I think that's what saves us is because I'm not doing that on purpose. That I'm just like got 1,000 things on my mind. And so
Mhm.
I start to leave a muscle memory close as a door for politeness. Right. But
Yeah.
I've been making an effort to not.
Except for this morning.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
God damn it.
I even hung a sign on the door, but I don't think you look at the door. So I can't really. I don't know where to put the sign.
Well, here's the problem. I told you to put the sign on the outside of the door because I don't look at the inside of the door ever, right? But the problem is now that I'm leaving the door open, I also don't see the outside of the door before I go in. So I close it and it signs on the outside and then I leave and I close the door behind me. That's what's happening. I just have to get used to doing it.
Here's what I've learned over the last couple of decades. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I don't know what we did yesterday. I don't know what we'll do tomorrow.
Yeah.
but today or right now we're okay.
Right.
Right. Even when you're snoring, or even when I'm nagging you about something, or I've told you for the third time about something.
Are you falling asleep? No, I'm fine.
At least we can laugh about it when we're done being mad about it.
Yeah.
But I think we do need to give each other some extra space every once in a while and be like, you know what, you're being kind of crabby right now. So I'm just going to go over here and like throw you some chocolate.
Yeah, no.
Or something. You know what I mean? I'm going to throw you a sticker and I'm going to go over here for a while.
I think space helps.
We have to recognize it early.
But that's hard for me because when we do get into an argument,
you want to talk it out. I can't.
I want to solve it because I don't want to go away with you mad.
Right. But sometimes you just have to go away. What's the Pink song? Go away so I can miss you.
Yeah. I'm starting to understand that more, but I still want my desire to work it out before it gets too far is much greater. And that's some sort of a trauma, right? That's surfacing is much greater than my wanting to respect your wishes of just walking away and letting it go, because that's hard for me to do that. Right. Mm-hmm.
Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is.
The problem is that so many people who get into relationships who are attracted to their people are broken in the same exact ways. Okay. Think about it. You are broken in almost the same exact ways, different circumstances,
right?
Different triggers, but same exact ways. You watched your parents not talk about anything.
Right.
Problematic. And so they never really worked it out.
Right.
And then they divorced. I watched my parents fight so much, yelling matches at her, yelling matches where she would just want to avoid. And he would go to every room she went to.
Right.
Because she just wanted to be away from it, because she was also traumatized in her own life by her own people. Instead of saying, you need to go cool down and leave me alone for a minute, she would just go into a different room. Well, he would follow and still yell. And then I watched him, put his hands on her.
Yeah.
And so that interaction when you're mad and the emotions are at their peak, that scares me, because then it's like fight or flight for me at that moment.
And no matter how much I tell you or prove to you that I would never do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You've never laid a hand on me the entire time we've been together in anger. Never.
Right. Just in interest.
Stop it. We have 4 kids. But you've never been mean to me physically.
No,
so,
I would never. That's not.
But it's not about the physicalness. It's about, that's where my brain goes.
Right.
It's higher and higher and higher, because somehow I can feel the tension rising in the room.
Right.
And as a kid, I knew it. And as a young person, I knew it. And now as an adult, I can see when something's about to happen bad.
Right.
Either someone says something bad or someone does something bad.
Right.
And everyone has their limits. Everyone does. But some people act out aggressively. And that frightens me. And so my brain goes, we are going to get hurt.
Right.
Because in that moment, I was right between them.
See, I was
right between them. And I was little. And I remember just running and screaming.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way. I've never thought of it that way, that what's happening for you when we get into a fight that starts to get heated is that you are starting to relive that experience.
Well, and it's not anything against you. It's that's
not.
my instinctual brain.
I know, but you're reliving it. It doesn't matter. I'm triggering that experience again for you. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But it's like, you know how you love something so much, and then that person gets mad at you. You know how that feels, because I get mad at you sometimes, and you love me very much, but you're like, okay, you're getting really mad and you're unrecognizable, and I don't know what's happening.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
My brain always goes, I know what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen. We need to get out of this situation. Yeah. We need to get out. And so that's why I go, oh, okay, I'm not talking to you now. And I'll leave the room.
Right. And then I follow you because I need to work it out and you don't.
And then I go, And that's when I have to start getting a little bit mean. And I especially don't go to the bathroom when I'm mad.
Right.
Because that's a triggering place for me, is because that's when it happened. When he did that, he I don't know if he busted down the door, but he got through the door, and
Right.
I was brushing my teeth or something, and my mom was going to the bathroom. And so we were in the bathroom together, and he came through the door and grabbed her and, did the whole thing. And so that's all I can see in my head sometimes.
I'm sorry, babe.
That's a more clear memory for me, a clearer picture for me than happy things like my high school graduation.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
No.
That's not okay.
But that's where that trauma comes from, though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know that story, but I did not know that that's what's happening in your mind.
Yeah.
When we get into an argument. I just thought you were being stubborn about not wanting to talk things out because you know that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And see, that's all selfish and in my head.
Yeah. It's a protective measure.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's just people are attracted to people that have gone through similar experiences, just naturally with, your friends or your significant other or whatever. You're kind of broken in the same ways. It's not easy to do, but you start to recognize, he feels the same exact way when I do this than when he does this to me.
Right.
You go, maybe that's why, is because this happened or that happened or whatever.
Yeah.
It really started happening we were 15 or 20 years in, and I was like, you know what? I'm being selfish in these moments, but the more I know about your backstory and your background and how, your parents have acted and do act, that's what that is. It's the same wounds with just different experiences.
Yeah. So I never saw my parents fight. At least I don't remember them fighting. I know that they must have fought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone fights, right?
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever them doing it in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
And so I never got to see resolution. And then that ended in a divorce.
Yeah. And
there was a point when I was, I think 5 or 6 years old when they also got separated.
Mm-hmm.
And so, those two events, and they were very hard on me.
Yeah.
Right. Those two events, they got a divorce when I was 22.
Yeah.
But that was very difficult for me too, because it was I don't want to say it came out of nowhere, because it clearly didn't.
But for you,
from my point of view of not seeing them fight,
it was out of the blue.
It felt like that, yeah.
And all the way up until your mom got remarried, you thought your mom and dad were going to maybe get back together.
Well, I was like a little tiny boy.
Every kid has that about their mom and dad. They want their mom and dad to be that strong foundation that, loves each other because you came from them.
Right. Anyways, that's where I'm coming from in those fights, and
I know.
And I didn't even think of. See, that's how selfish fighting is. You don't think about the other person while you're doing it. You're just thinking about yourself and what you need out of it.
But that's a normal human thing.
Yes.
That's not an easy thing to have
and
to
again,
go.
Like I said at the top, we're not perfect, and that is why we're talking about this.
Yeah. And I'm not pro marriage. I'm really not. And I think if it wasn't for you, I would not be married.
Oh.
And at all. I told your mom this a long time ago.
To no one.
To no one.
Would
no one has ever,
Would you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
No relationship. Because it was either you or nothing. Whoa. And I recognized that early. Because 1, you made me laugh.
Right.
2, you didn't want to fix everything, all my problems or all my whatever.
Yeah.
You just listened and you go, well, okay. Well, what about this? Or you would just suggest things to me, not try to fix it or whatever. You just saw me and you were funny. And so I'm like, that's who I want as a boyfriend, or if I'm going to have any boyfriend,
right,
or any partner, that's who I want, And then we all go through our growing up stages and our trauma stages. And, we all have to deal with those things, especially during the birth of children and all that. It brings up a lot of,
Well, we were both very young.
Self-reflection. Absolutely. And another thing is that I don't want my kids to get married so young.
Yeah.
I don't want that for them. It was difficult. Thankfully it was for you and you're worth it. And hopefully I'm worth it, all that trouble. But I don't want to see my kid go through that. I don't want my girl to go through that.
So the intellectual side of me agrees 100% with you on marriage, right? Marriage is dumb. It's like a weird institution. It's antiquated. It's it's all the bad things, right, about it.
Could be. Yeah.
But then there's this part of me that's very traditionalist and wants those key moments for my kids, right? Yeah. Like those. I'm also very much a romantic.
You are a romantic. And so, I've been to weddings.
Yeah.
I've got weepy at all of them. Right. But a couple of them, the people are no longer together.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I know, but it doesn't.
I've been in some of them and I'm like, oh, this is great. And they're not together anymore. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah.
I know that thing, you go into it with a whole lot of hope.
Right.
And a whole lot of whatever.
I think that's what appeals to me is that initial like dopamine hit of hope.
Yeah.
Right. Where you go, oh God, this is going to work out forever for them. Tear.
Right. But sometimes that just doesn't, that's not in
sometimes
the cards.
It's just not in the cards for everybody. And, I think that's why that's part of our longevity is that we don't take it so seriously.
Yeah.
This is, yes. Woo, we get a big tax break and we get to be with each other every day is the thing that's for me, right? Like, God, I hate the idea of not being around you. Like, waking up and not being there. Like when I first started at AutoZone before COVID hit, I was having to go into that office after 8 years of working from home. And I was like, this is the worst thing ever because I'd have to leave before you woke up and I'd get home right before you had to put Fred to bed because of the commute. And it would be like, why am I doing this? This is like the job is fine, but this being away from you sucks so bad.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd be at work all day long, literally just sitting at my desk doing my job.
Yeah.
Right. Occasionally somebody come by and be like, hey, what's up? Water cooler moment or whatever. But it's, why do I have to be here?
Yeah.
Like I can do all of this work from home and then, every half an hour or so I can get up and come see you.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's really great now.
Smell you. Like you smell so great. You look great today. Or have a hug. I missed you while I was upstairs for an hour.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not happy about a pandemic. That's the least of my thankfulness, but I am thankful that you're able to work from home right now.
Right.
I really am.
Which is due to the pandemic. So you got to kind of
but I don't because it's terrible. It
is terrible. That was
ruining families and stuff.
So bad joke.
No, but you got to have a sense of humor in a crazy effed up.
Yeah. It feels kind of like it feels like a kind of a silver lining of 2020. And the pandemic and everything. But yes,
you have the privilege to be able to work from home.
Yeah.
Not everyone does. I'm just thankful that you are.
Yeah. I got myself
personally because I'm very selfish about it.
I got myself into a position where the work I do doesn't require a specific location.
And
because
you've earned that.
Right.
You've earned that position.
Yeah.
I get that. When you have to go to an office building every day, I feel like something's missing. It's not us against the kids. That's not how we've ever run our family, but it's usually all of us together against like the littlest one, maybe.
Yeah.
But just being able to have that moment of just looking at each other and going,
just eye contact across the room,
right, is enough to help me take another breath, keep going,
Yeah.
Keep it together for a little bit longer or just to commiserate with someone who knows exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's always cool.
That is cool. I like our little looks.
And that's why I consider you, even in the voting line this morning, your looks were ready to just fight or flight for sure. But
well, in that situation, we've got like a fairly unsafe condition.
Mm-hmm.
And people aren't really, we live in a small rural Tennessee town. So people aren't really like taking it very seriously. And so the social distancing and the masks are all real lax, and
it feels,
it's overwhelming.
it feels threatening.
It feels
That's what
threatening.
that's what it felt like. And I
don't feel like people are threatening us.
No. But
it feels like a danger situation, like a code orange.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, is that it feels dangerous.
Right.
And I deal with a 4-year-old all day long, so I think I can tolerate a little bit more. And I've had 3 teenagers now.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty tough dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
And you know me, and I'm not this person, but I had to tell a lady, "Can you put your mask on, please?"
Yeah.
When she got too close to my kid this morning.
Here's my favorite part about that was that you were polite.
Mm-hmm. I even
also
said thank you when she started to do it.
But also very terse. You were like this. Let me try to do it. You're like, "Can you please put your mask on, please?"
Did I say please twice? Okay. So,
but you were like, I knew the tone, but you were being so polite.
I did the mom tone.
Yeah.
That's how I ask the boys to do the dishes or take out the garbage or whatever. I use please and thank you, but I use the mom voice.
"Can you please do the dishes, please?"
Hey, the dishes get done.
Yeah.
The garbage gets taken out.
That's true.
We have great kids.
Yeah.
And that lady put on her mask. You're welcome, America.
Are you announcing your bid for presidency in 2024 right now?
Hey, moms can get it shit done.
Yeah, moms do get shit done.
Moms can get it done.
I still feel like you all need to get paid.
I think so too.
Big time by the government.
I think so too.
$100,000 a year per kid.
I don't care. Yeah.
Don't at me. Don't at me, anybody. That's what they deserve. Trust me on this.
Yes, exactly. But I think that even in our toughest moments where we're like, "You son of a bitch," we still have all of these years of agreeing on lots of things,
right,
disagreeing on a few things,
right.
But it's always, we have that foundation of humor and being best friends. So we respect each other. And if we need each other, it doesn't matter if we're pissed at each other.
Right.
You're there. It doesn't matter. It's like that I found a really sweet illustration years ago. It's like 2 older people sitting on a bench and it's raining and the man is holding an umbrella out for the lady. And you can tell they're kind of sad or mad at each other.
Yeah.
But he's still holding the umbrella for her.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's like there's still something there where you love and respect them, but you're still mad at them too.
Yeah. Even when you're mad, you can still be there for each other. I think also sometimes we take our disagreements or our arguments and we turn them into full-blown inside jokes, right? Like, we both know the right way to paint.
Oh, come on. We do not know the right way to paint. You know what's happening? You've watched Karate Kid too many times and you think you're Mr. Miyagi. That's what this is.
I do think I'm Mr. Miyagi.
And I'm not Ralph Camacho.
He's not Camacho.
What is it?
It's Ralph Macchio.
Whatever. I'm not the Karate Kid, and you are not Mr. Miyagi.
I know.
I can paint the fence.
Now this is becoming an argument again?
No. I can paint the dresser however I want to.
See, we go back and forth. We're like, we have an argument, turn it into an inside joke. I bring it up later, and then it becomes an argument again.
It's not an argument. I don't care. I don't care. See, and I think as you get older or you grow up with somebody, you go, "You know what? I feel more powerful now than I was.
Right.
But now I'm not going to take that shit. Now I'm going to say, hey, I'm a little bit pissy at you. You might want to stop talking."
Well, yeah, I think I've noticed that.
Not always, but most of the time I'm like, no, it's okay if you think you're right.
Right.
But right now I don't need to hear that.
And I've also noticed that, like, I think probably since you turned 38, 39, 40, you started to really like be more forward.
I've tried to communicate more about how I'm feeling and what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Because it does help me.
Yeah, because it was really hard in the beginning of our relationship to get you to communicate what you were feeling or why you were upset, or, and me needing that to work things out.
You needing feedback.
Yeah.
Here's the kicker. Are you ready for this one?
Yeah.
I didn't even know how I felt. I didn't even,
You were just mad.
you go
and you
from
didn't know
an
why.
authoritarian household where you're told what you feel, you're
Oh, I
told
gotcha,
what you
yeah.
think, you're told when to go to bed and what you can eat and all
Mhm.
that stuff.
Right.
And then you get out on your own or you run away on your own. And now I still went to bed at 10:30. I still made sure I was home at a certain time. I
Right.
still made sure that,
Because you were conditioned.
yeah. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, what do you want for dinner? I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you want to make for dinner? I don't know.
Right.
I'm so mad at myself at the time, which I shouldn't be. I should have more patience with myself to this day,
Right.
that it's okay if I don't know something. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to know everything in order to just be who I am.
Yeah. And I think that's, for me, that's how I've always operated is that it's okay to not know everything, and it's okay to have to ask a question, or, you know what I mean? It's okay to say, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong?
Mm-hmm.
You tell me, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's stuff that I know, but that I know you know more about. And I ask you all the time,
Yeah.
right? Like, what temperature do you think I should bake this at? Right? Like, I know I can just look at the package or figure it out, right? I
Yeah.
don't need you, but I'm involving you because I like to have that interaction with you, right?
Mhm.
But I do that kind of stuff all of the time. Like, I'll ask you a question about something, hey, do you know where this is? Or do you know what this is? Or do you know who broke my chair? Like, I just like to get you
Talking.
Talking, yeah.
You like feedback.
I like conversation. I like discussing things. I like
Yeah.
getting it out on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you stuff that gets me in trouble because I want you to know like what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want there to be secrets
Yeah.
between us, right? I tell you things that are going to get me in trouble because I want us to be open and honest. I want you to know where I'm coming from, so like I reveal too much, like
Yeah.
my crush on Marissa Tomei, right?
Damn you, Marissa Tomei.
It's not something that I probably should tell you, right? It's not something that you need to know necessarily, but like in the back of my mind, it's like, well, if I ever have to work with Marissa Tomei for some reason, I want you to know where I'm coming from so you don't think I'm doing secret bullshit behind your back, right? And yeah, that's a stupid example, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I do get what you're saying. And at first, it was kind of like, why is he telling me all these things? Why is he telling me that, he gave his lady boss a hug at work? Why is he telling me these things? And then, the more we talk it through and the more we talk about it, of course, it makes so much sense
Right.
that he just wants me to know everything, because if I find out not from him,
Right.
then it could make me feel worse.
Yeah.
It could make me feel that he's not trustworthy.
Right.
And you, if nothing else in the whole entire world, you like it, the fact that I trust you.
Right.
And you like the fact that I can come to you about anything and everything, and you'll be able to keep that secret or be able to like help and take care of that kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah, I like to be a good secret vault for people.
Yeah.
I don't tell people things that other people have told me. That's not to say I've never gossiped.
Yeah.
I've definitely gossiped, but
Mhm.
I've never spilled secrets, right?
Right.
But I also don't like having secrets because secrets, I don't know what it is about
Not
me.
even Christmas. Not
Right.
even Christmas present
Nope.
secrets can you.
Mm-mm.
You're like,
Mm-mm.
I can't buy presents early. I can't do it. And I'm like, why? You go, because I can't keep the secret that long.
Secrets eat me alive.
You're like, can we just do Christmas now? And I go, it's November 4th, bud. We can't do that. We can't have Christmas in November.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
You have to wait.
secrets eat me alive. And I think it's part of like my relationship before you was, or not before you, but before,
When you were younger.
my first marriage.
That lasted 7 months.
7
it was
months.
Not, technically,
It was
a marriage, but
It was all secrets,
right.
the whole thing, top to
Right.
bottom.
And not just from her. Like, you didn't learn just from her
right.
at the end. You were hearing things that weren't from her.
Right.
And so you don't want me to be in your position.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. It's something that now
Right.
after we've been together for so long. I appreciate you are very open and you are very honest about I was in a room and there was 3 ladies and 2 dudes and this lady kept looking at me and I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's going to be it's going to be fine. Yeah, I know. But I just want you to know that she was looking at me, but I was looking at a picture of you the whole time. I appreciate that now because now I know for 100%, and not everyone can say that. And I'm very thankful I can. I know for 100% certainty, or at least 98% certainty that you're pro me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, even if I were attracted to somebody else, and even if they were to, like, you know, hit on me, I would not act on that ever.
Yeah.
Because I know what that feels like, you know, and I would be lying to say that I've never been attracted to another person while we're together, right? Like, that's a lie, but you know about that,
I mean, Jared Leto exists, right?
But I think that would be a lie for any human, right? That's part of the reason that I think marriage, like, intellectually, marriage is a
difficult
garbage
concept.
idea, right?
Yeah.
It's like, because we can't control, like, I can't control if we're out at the mall and a super hot dude or a super hot girl walks by and I'm like, damn.
Look at the buns on that one.
Yeah.
Right.
He must work out, right? Like,
exactly.
I can't control that.
Right.
That's animal instinct, right? Or desire or lust. Those are things that are, like,
and especially
outside of the control of initial reaction, right?
Right.
But I can control my loyalty to you. I can control my actions, right?
And that trust.
I can't always control my words. I might go, damn, right?
No,
like,
you don't. Don't lie.
But I can control how I act through those
Your
things,
actions.
right? You know, Marissa Tomei comes to the house and goes, we need you.
You're the only guy that can help it.
That can do this job. We're remaking Vinny, my cousin Vinny. And I'd be like, I can't, I'm sorry. Close the door. Because I control my loyalty to you. I can control
I believe that, like, you know, 94% of that. I believe that.
You think I would fly it's important to me, but I also know I can say with 100% certainty that you would never do that to me either, because that's not the kind of person you are, 1. And 2, you know what it did to me the first time.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you would put me through that again.
And honestly, realistically, I can tell that it took me a long time to earn that trust from you.
Right. Yeah.
It took me a long time, you know, just every day, just solidifying that I chose you. I choose you. You are who I chose.
Well, I will tell you this. I'll tell you a secret. It was probably not a secret. I have trusted you since the beginning.
What?
Internally, but held back the declaration of that trust just to be sure.
So it's not complete.
I got so full.
Yeah.
It is now.
Yeah.
But for a long time it was not. I got so fooled, right?
Yeah.
I got completely blindsided and bamboozled by this other person that it's just difficult. That's a trauma, right? Like,
yes, it is.
That was a destructive event in my life, and it destroyed some of because before she did that, I was very trusting and naive even.
Yeah. Well, you were a young guy. Of course you were.
Yeah, but I also wanted to believe.
Yeah. And you're also pretty romantic, and you always wanted to be a dad, and you always, you know, you wanted those things, those happy, healthy things that all humans want.
Yeah.
And someone took advantage of that and kind of spit on it and ruined it.
Right.
Not unknowingly, because I feel like she knew what she was doing, but she had her own immense suitcase of issues.
Her reactions and her behaviors and activities were based on abuse that she had suffered.
Exactly.
She wasn't necessarily saying
F me.
Fuck you
to
me.
Yeah.
She was saying, I don't know how else to deal with this. So this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're collateral.
Exactly.
Right. Which it took me a long time to come to that conclusion, that realization.
Yeah.
And to forgive, right?
Yeah.
But there's not anything going back. I don't think I would change anything about what happened. I'd go through that
Don't cry. Damn it.
I'd go through that 1,000 more times if it always came to this.
You and me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good.
Every time. I'd Groundhog Day that shit
Whoa.
for eternity.
You are my Bill Murray.
If it meant that this is still the outcome.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You're my first serious relationship that I have ever had.
Oh, waka waka waka.
One Fozzie Bear. What the-
I thought I just assumed all your other relationships were comedies.
Well, basically.
And who's the best?
Clowns.
Who's the best comic in the world?
No, I don't know.
Fozzie
I
Bear.
don't know. That's the best. Oh,
That's the whole
jeepers.
shtick, right? Isn't that the whole idea behind Fozzie Bear?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. No, but I didn't have many relationships. I was only 17, going on 18 when I met you.
Yeah.
So I didn't know at all. I brought no notes to this today.
To be clear, let's be clear. When we met, you were like 2 months away from August
When we met, it was the summer
of the year you turn 18.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 17, going on 18.
Right.
Really,
Right.
really quickly. I didn't know anything about a relationship. I
Right.
wanted to steer clear of everything. And, life was giving me a problem. I wasn't going to put a relationship on top of that.
Right.
That seemed like hell.
But then you found out about the rainbow tattoo and you were like, now I've
I'm
got
like,
to have one.
Do you have a rainbow tattoo? And you go, no.
Did I do it like
Yeah.
that? Was that no?
And I go, okay. And I didn't talk to you for a long time after that.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the summer, we were teasing and carrying on and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, well, he's sweet and kind and nice, but he might be too old for me. And he probably doesn't like me like that.
I
and
was 47
you were not.
at the time.
You were not.
Yep.
You had just turned 22. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. In fact, I had turned 22
That summer.
that July.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we met in August.
Mm,
That's when we initially met.
no, we met that summer.
That's August. August is
No,
the
it was
summer.
it was like end of June, beginning of July when we met.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I feel like that's inaccurate, but
It's not inaccurate.
we're just going to have to check the tapes.
roll. And then
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I don't think you could say that.
I just did.
And then in October, on October 13th
Mm-hmm.
of that year, 1996,
Right.
you asked me out and you said, will you come over and let me cook you dinner?
Oh, the infamous dinner.
Yeah. And the dinner, it was something special. And then you said, will you be my girl?
I didn't act 22.
No, you acted like a gentleman of 80.
Yeah.
And even milk for dinner. So yes, 80. You were an old soul.
Milk with pasta. That's what I served
Okay.
you.
Okay. So ladies, you'll know this.
Oh, jeez.
The last things that you have on a first date is
Oh,
is
no.
any kind of flippy around pasta.
Yeah.
So spaghetti is out.
Right.
Salad, no, that's out because if you can't get a proper feminine bite out of that.
So, okay.
And then milk as the beverage.
This is how wholesome of a person I was.
A young man of 80. That's what I said. So how could I refuse
Right.
such a great offer as to be your lady?
I just assumed everyone loved milk.
What's the one drink I don't drink?
Milk.
Okay. Not even now we're on plant milks.
Yeah.
I still don't drink it. I have a splash of oat milk here and there
Right.
in a cereal bowl. I do not drink milk. Never have.
So what? Okay. Just for our
Two listeners, go ahead.
Our would-be romantic
Oh, okay.
listeners out there, what is a good meal to make on the first date?
Oh boy.
Or should you even be making a meal on the first
No,
date?
no. Well, it's a very romantic thing. And that's what really kind of got me. I was like,
Right.
oh, well, he doesn't want to go do something the normal like thing like a movie
Right.
or out to eat. right? He wants to make me something, which
Right.
is, very artistic and sweet. And then I can, because you were roommates, you have your sister and her boyfriend as roommates. And so I thought, well, it's a safe place because I know his sister, and his
Right.
sister and I are good friends, and I'll get to see him in his own environment, and he'll make me something. Little did I know that the other roommate
Yeah.
at the time, your sister's boyfriend's friend,
Right.
was having a little house party at what I now know as the party house
Right.
of Cottonwood,
Yeah.
Arizona. Also as the weed house, or whatever the house that you want to talk about it.
Were other people calling it that? Because
Yeah.
we didn't call that internally.
It was called the house.
Really?
Yeah, quote unquote.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he had several handfuls of people there.
Right.
And I showed up, my friend dropped me off and took off. So the only person that I knew there was your sister.
Right.
And then you were late coming home from work, so
Right.
you weren't even there. So I waited for like an hour or something. And then the other roommate, he comes up to me and he sits crisscross applesauce
Right.
right in front of me. And he goes, "What are your intentions?" I'm like, what in the fuck? I have no intentions, bro. I'm here for dinner. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Right. Well, I had just so you're clear, I had confided in him
Uh-huh.
that how much I felt like I liked you at that point.
Mm-hmm. But he was gatekeeping you, and I didn't
Right.
appreciate.
Right.
and so I'm waiting for an hour or more before you get home, and then you go, "I need like an hour." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'll be here." Oh yeah.
So back to
So again, all this leading up, how could I say no? How could I? I get interrogated.
right.
I get basically tortured with weird foods,
Yeah.
milk,
Milk.
and then I get asked to be your girl.
Right.
How could I say no, man? It was great.
So what back to my question. What is the good thing to make on a first date or any date where you're cooking for someone? What's the right food?
Oh boy.
If it's not a sloppy spaghetti with sand, garlic bread, and milk, what is it then?
I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know. Maybe something comforting like mashed potatoes. and-
Oh yeah, because you
mashed
can get
potatoes
that
and
to
something.
stay all together.
Yeah. And you can play in it if you're really just not
Right.
like, if you're talking or whatever.
Mashed potatoes,
Something with mashed potatoes.
maybe some gravy and peas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And last night for our anniversary, I made you mashed potatoes.
Oh
made
yeah,
you
you
bangers
did.
and mash.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
A la vegan style.
I love the way you make bangers and mash.
So last anniversary, I made you the infamous dinner.
Yes, you did.
I made you spaghetti and a salad and milk
Yep.
with garlic bread, and it actually was garlic.
Not
Not whatever you made.
not
I
a
don't
jar
know.
of sand.
I don't.
Somebody had taken the garlic salt and dumped it out and put sand. I don't know why.
It's. I do know why. Is because all y'alls were hippies, and y'all used to play hacky sack in the freaking living room
Oh, was
at
it
all
hacky
hours
sack
of
sand?
the day. And the easy way to get the sand into the hacky sack to repair it was through a stupid shaker seasoning bottle.
Yep.
And
no,
then
you're right.
some dumbass put it back in the cupboard, the communal cupboard of this pot house. Oh man.
Oh man.
See?
Yeah.
That's what keeps us together, dude. It's the glue.
It's the glue.
It's the sand garlic bread glue.
It's the literal silica in your tum tum.
And I went, "Oh, this is not good." I'm like, I go, "You know what? This is really nice. I'm
It's
just not all that hungry."
It's not that garlicky, really. It's kind of gritty. I feel like it's sanding my
I
teeth.
go, "I don't think that's garlic bread." That's what I remember saying.
Oh yeah, I think that is what you said.
And you went, "Oh man, I'm so sorry."
All right. So,
Anyways,
so let's summarize.
let's summarize
A good, for us,
partnerships.
a good partnership is just making each other laugh,
As much as you possibly can.
forgiving one another for our trespasses,
As much as you possibly can.
honesty,
As much as you possibly can.
but some stuff, no.
Every once in a while, especially us ladies, we like to have a little bit of a, I don't think there's really anything that you don't know about me, but it's
Right.
taken a long time. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's taken a long time for us to be able to completely trust another person
Right.
to the point where you really don't have any secrets whatsoever.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do, especially if you're broken in the same ways.
Unless you're you, and then you know everything way sooner because I'm just like, blah, blah. Here's another thing. Blah. Did you know about this? Blah. You don't have
And
to tell
then I
me all
go,
that.
that's really great, but I'm built different.
So honesty, trust, making each other laugh. I think some of the worst times that we have are like when we get mad at each other and then we don't talk for like a day.
Mm,
I don't like that. Those hurt
I don't either.
the most.
But it's a scary thing to be the first one.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. I agree. But I always want to be the first one. And I think I typically am.
Well,
I
you're
think
the first one to make a joke and make light of it.
Yeah, I think I give in first, usually.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like that.
The tension.
Yeah, I don't like that state of, oh, we can't joke around. I can't hug her. I can't pick her up and set her down in a way so that she falls on her knee.
Okay, dude. Yes, exactly.
Until we make up.
Yeah. I think they're getting less and less over time.
Yeah, I think the older we get and the more open we get about how we're feeling, not open about like secrets, but open about how we're feeling
Mm-hmm.
and how things are affecting us
Yeah.
so that the other person is aware.
Yeah, because as soon as you look into the person's eyes that you adore
Right.
and they say, no, that hurt. And this is the reason why. And you go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And
I'm
you-
the asshole.
Yeah, you go.
Well, sir, I'm the asshole the
You
whole
can
time.
put yourself in their position
Right.
for a second and go, I am still mad about what happened and your reaction or what you said or what you did, but I can see what you're talking about.
Right.
And so that makes sense. And so, yes, I am the asshole,
Mm-hmm.
but
But also
it doesn't
at
mean
that-
you're wrong. It just means that you have to step out of yourself for a minute
Right.
and think about what that other person is going through,
Yeah.
whether they're right or wrong. It's how they feel.
Right.
It doesn't matter what happened or who's right or who's wrong. And I think that I'm trying to learn that now.
Yeah.
And after so many years, I'm trying to heal myself, take care of our family, and maintain a relationship. You just have to give yourself some credit.
Yeah.
I was telling our kids the other day, it's not just about what you're doing right this second, whether it's working or whether it's not working, or, how much you're accomplishing. Just take a second and be patient with yourself. Give yourself kindness, and then look behind you.
Yeah.
Look at where how much you have done already, where
Right.
you came from, who
Right.
you were then, and then look at yourself now. I guarantee it won't look so stressful if
Yeah.
you go, when I first started this relationship, I wasn't confident. I didn't love myself as, like I do now. I was very terrified, very scared, brand new this, brand new that. But now I have some tools in the tool belt, and I'm not going to ever be perfect. And that's okay.
Yeah. I think that's also when the other person says to you that XYZ is why I'm mad and this is why I reacted that way.
Mhm.
If when you hear that and you don't immediately feel empathy,
Mhm.
then maybe that's when it's starting to like tip towards it being over, right?
Mm.
Like when you can look in that person who you adore's eyes and not feel, sadness or empathy or sorrow for them
Mhm.
from their point of view, right? Like
Mhm.
that's when it's starting to like maybe crack a little bit.
Yeah.
And I
where you have to check yourself.
Right.
Maybe that it's not over, but that it's you got to check yourself or it could run away from you.
Right. It could start snowballing.
Yeah. And then before you know it, it's gone too far.
Yeah.
And
Point
then
of no return.
there's no way to get that back unless you really, really fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you said to me the other day, and it broke my heart for a minute because you're like, I don't want you to fix it right now.
Right.
I just want you to acknowledge that this happened and now I can't do this.
Right.
And that hurts. So I was like, okay, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fix it
Right.
rather than just say, I'm sorry.
Right.
And that's hard because I never learned that.
Right.
I really didn't learn. I just apologize for everything that I've ever done wrong, ever did, period.
Yeah.
If I was told that I was doing something wrong, I just went, I'm sorry. And then when I went out on my own, it was, okay, I'll fix it. Let me fix it. Let me fix it. Instead of, I'm sorry, because I had said sorry so much that I felt like I'm not going to say I'm sorry anymore but that's stupid. That's like ridiculous. Of course I have to be sorry.
Right.
But because I had said it so much, I got stuck in my head that, I shouldn't have to apologize for accidentally doing something that I didn't know I was doing.
Right.
Yeah. So instead of trying to fix everything, because I want to do that, if I mess up, I want to fix it. Sometimes it gets fixed by you just admitting I messed up.
Right.
Without fixing it.
Yeah. Sometimes fixing it isn't even the goal, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just like acknowledge.
Yeah.
And let's move on.
Which is a very humbling thing to have to like understand, is that some people don't want you to fix their things.
Yeah.
When you mess up, they don't want you to fix it.
Yeah.
They want you to just listen and see what they're feeling.
Hear them.
That's it. And that's hard for me. But
I'm sorry.
I'm learning.
You are learning.
I'm trying to.
I
heard you the other day. Is what I'm saying. I heard you.
I know. I appreciate it.
I heard it.
You left. You went, okay, I'm sorry. And then you left.
Yeah.
And it did help.
Yeah.
That did help. I think this podcast also is helping us. Like,
yeah.
I've said that before, but I think that it's helping us have these uninterrupted conversations about things that help us see each other as, instead of that annoying guy who snores too much and traps his farts, I'm another person who has thoughts and feelings, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I trap my farts, you go, trapped his farts again. And then you just open the door, right? Instead of coming out and be like, well, I told you to stop trapping goddamn farts.
I even put up a sign. Like, that's what I say to myself when I go in there. I go, I even put up a sign. I even put up a sign.
Jesus.
And then and then by the time I get out, I go, fart trapper.
Fart trapper.
I'm going to tell him next time I see him.
He's a regular fart trapper. All right. Here's the thing. I'm so glad that we have 24 years together that we can look back on, and the majority of it's happy memory.
Yeah, it's mostly.
And fun times together, and holding each other up, and strengthening each other, and being there for each other, and protecting each other, and cheering each other up, and, lifting each other up.
Yeah.
And, with a very small minority of fights, or misunderstandings, or being mad at each other.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for you, and I love you.
I'm very grateful for you too. And I'm very happy and proud of what we have and what we've accomplished and built, and for putting up with me and supporting my healing and supporting my nonsense and having babies with me. And I love you too.
Hey, Lou.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can get a fact check and show notes if you go to louandmepodcast.com and listen to the episodes there?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can listen wherever you want. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But if you go to our website and listen, you're going to get a little bit of extra stuff there.
First, right?
First, yes. We post first on the website always.
Awesome.
It's louandmepodcast.com. The Lou and Me podcast is a Matthias Source production. The song is No Carpets by The New Forevers. Produced and edited by Moose. Hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.